couple of more projects. Is it okay? Yeah? Because this is it's maybe interesting to see. I now have the visitors as input, my conditions were the rule sets. Yeah? It's always this construction. And now input are the people all over the world, because this is a system which is super nice from Amazon, where you can make money by executing tasks. And everybody can put a task, it's called HIT, a human intelligent task, put it on the website. And then wherever you are online, it is used a lot in India. Loads of Indians are executing tasks for people from all over the world. And it was actually developed, it is made by Amazon, developed platform. And in the first place, it was developed for programmers that needed a little bit of intelligence to test things and a huge amount of people. So it's always very simple tasks that you have to do. But that cannot be done by a computer, only by an intelligent person. So sometimes, for example, you get HIT's task there to write a comment, and you would earn 20 cents, or to write a blog, or to write blog posts, or to look through an archive of thousands of images and you see something weird. Something like that, like simple things. So what I did with Jonathan together again was we were supposed to design an annual report. And we thought, okay, that's so dry. And we tried to give it life, basically. And it became a sound piece spoken by people from all over the world. And we put the whole annual report into short fragments, like 200 fragments, and asked people to translate these fragments. But we also asked them not to use a dictionary, but translate it the way they think what it said, from Dutch to English, by the way. So sometimes, and we keep the structure. So sometimes it was very close to what it was actually meaning. Sometimes it was completely absurd and very funny and so on. So what it became in the end, so we put all the fragments together, and again, we asked to speak it, to record their voice. And then we put it as a sound file on the website with subtitles of the original annual report. And what is nice about the sound file, I could play it.
The museum director of many years left on September 1st, 2007. In August 2008, New had a successful art show in the Leeds Museum. 2007 was a depressing year for the art world. Many people retired and some died. Lots of them were old. New and young people are needed to replace these vacant positions to bring the museum back to life again.
To see famous people on the news and in everyday practical instances, you must have a team of effective people and have a program on how to do this. It is also essential to have time and the desire to see such people.
I think it just makes sense to play to you because you don't speak English, or some of you, or whatever, it's too quick, and you don't see the subtitles, you don't see the connection. But I still want to play briefly, because what with the sound files we got back is of course the story, but at the same time lots of information that I actually didn't ask for. It was so funny to hear this Indian background noise of a crowded street because people have their windows open, or you hear the copy machines in the background because people was executing these tasks at the workspace, or you would hear all these different intonations, and there's so much characteristic and so much information in sound files that we didn't actually think of in the first place. So it was a very rich, funny thing in the end. And then, okay, we had to also make a print version, and then we made a PDF of this annual report, and the corresponding in Dutch and the corresponding fragment of the, from the sound file was at the left, the blue underline. And you could click it, and then you would jump to the website, to the corresponding piece. So again, that was now the input was the mind and the characteristics of the people all over the world, the conditions where my rules, my instructions that I gave to them. Here, this is actually also on the invitation. Here I played myself the machine, and together with Edo Paulus, it was in a museum in Eindhoven, and the exhibition took place 10 days, and during the 10 days we were painting the walls. And the visitors of the museum, could steer us in the machine, because they had the possibility to give us a color. We had a letter, and we had the wooden pillar, and 4 colors, everybody. And then they could place a color on the pillar, and after, because each color had a certain rule, how I had to execute the color. And so after each execution, I have to check, is there a new color? Then I go down my ladder, put the other color back, take the new color, or I continue my old color. And I show you, I tell you the rules while I run this animation. The question is, if you design conditions, where do they come from? What shall I do? And that depends always on the context and on the project that you're dealing with. And in this case, we had nothing. A free autonomous project again. So there was only the wall and the height of the wall and us painting. So we thought, okay, then let's work with our own body. So the drawing, the 4 different rules emerged from our body proportions. That's why it's called Vitruvian Paint Machine, because the Vitruvian man was the guy that Da Vinci made the circle, the proportions, the circle and the square. And I very briefly explained the 4 rules. Red was draw a circle, and the circle was related to my wrist, the size, the radius of my wrist. And if it was not touching the end of the circle, another color, I could go 1 radius higher, my red circle, and that would be my elbow. So the radius of the red circle would be my elbow. Even if then it wouldn't not touch another color, I could go 1 radius higher and use my shoulder as the radius. Then the black line, when I had black, I had to draw straight lines, and the straight lines were my reach, my widest reach I could do. And so from the position where I was, I had to continue at the end of the last line and draw a line, and then I had 10 deviation of 10 degrees to continue. So that was black. Blue was draw a parallelogram, and that was because we had the ladder and we climbed up the ladder. So we had our body proportion movement of this. So if I was on the ladder from my last line, I looked, okay, where do I stand, and I'm in the last position. I marked this point and my hip, and I finished it as a parallelogram. continued at blue, I was allowed to get one step more up, and then again more up. That's how you get this parallelograms going like this. And you also see that it never goes higher than a certain height. Yeah, you see blue never goes higher than the upper step of the ladder. And green was connect your center of the body to corner points. So if I got green, I had to look where I'm standing at that moment and take my center. And there was one nice situation. So you could say, it's very complicated or complex rules. And but the visitors didn't really need to understand that. They just could pick a color based on whatever. Some people, most of the people, or a lot of people, picked red because they right away recognized the red little circles. And I really never liked that so much because it looked like cherries a little bit. And so now I would do the rules differently, or choose other colors. And one man was there that was really choosing the color based on the rules. And he was really playing with us. He was there for 3 hours and continuously placing a new color and really had a plan what to draw, in fact. Yeah. So that was nice because we put the rules public so people could study them. And it was nice because about limitations, speaking about limitations again, because I had a little bit, I was executing, I was a machine, but I still had a little bit of freedom because I could choose, do I draw the circle from the right to the left or from the left to the right, for example. And I had to continue with the next at the end of my previous line. So I could determine very much in which direction the drawing would go. So if I go to left or right, it would go then in this direction, or in this. So I had to plan a little bit, yeah? So I think, oh wow, there's this free space, I can go in this direction. But then somebody else came, put another color, and they couldn't go there. And there was this constant tension between being able to do something and actually not. So, and both the visitors as well had only to a certain extent influence on the drawing. So, that is